Okay, guys. So today we're actually going to talk about the angles, okay, which we've talked quite a lot about already, and the turns. All right. So just kind of a basic warm-up here, and the reason I'm drawing this first is because this is always a good place to go back to. Can you guys show me with your fingers how many degrees that angle is in here? And I could even draw it around that way. Show me with your fingers how many degrees that is. Okay, if you're showing me 90, if you're showing me 90 degrees, you would be correct. Okay, any corner is a 90-degree angle, and it's also called a what angle? Show me the first letter in sign language, please. Very good. It's a right angle. Okay, that's a 90-degree angle. It's a right angle. All right, now, I can take this 90-degree angle, and, I can rotate it, right? So if I were to, let's grab a marker here. I could rotate it. Let's say I want to rotate it this way. Okay? So I'm going to rotate that 90-degree angle this way. And if I do that, it's going to look like this. Okay? How many degrees is this? Show me with your fingers. Good. 90 degrees? Okay, this is still 90 degrees, isn't it? It doesn't change that. Okay? And it's also what kind of angle? Show me the first letter in sign language. Very good. It's also a right angle. Okay? It's not a left angle. Okay, there's no such thing. All right? It's also a right angle. This is a right angle and this is a right angle. Anything with a corner, doesn't matter the direction it's facing, is a right angle. All right? And if I rotated it that much, I rotated it how much? How many degrees did I rotate it? Okay, I rotated this 90-degree angle. How many degrees? 90 degrees. Okay, I rotated this 90-degree angle 90 degrees. So that's a 90-degree clockwise, right? Quarter turn. That's it. So 1 quarter turn. So now, I'm going to take this angle, though, and I'm going to keep rotating it. I'm going to keep going with it. All right? Keep going with it. I'm going to go another quarter turn. I'll tell you that. I'm going to go another quarter turn with it. All right? And if I go another quarter turn with it, and I end up with something that looks like this, So I rotated, let's say, from here all the way to here. How many degrees did I rotate that? Show me with your fingers. Okay, it's more than 90, that's for sure. All right, so this 1 quarter turn was 90. I did another 90, which altogether was 180 degrees. Right? So going from here to here, going from here all the way to here was 180 degrees. Okay, and you also notice that that is a half of what? Show me with your hands. Half of a very good circle. Okay, that's a half circle. So a half circle is 180 degrees, isn't it? A half turn is 180 degrees. Give me a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if this is making sense to you. Okay, thumbs up if it makes sense, thumbs down if it makes absolutely no sense at all, thumbs sideways if you're pretty much getting it, but you've probably got some questions. Okay, all right, very good. I'm seeing thumbs up and thumbs sideways. So this takes practice. So now what we're going to look at is this. I've got an angle. We know that this is a 90-degree angle, right? And we could keep rotating this around, couldn't we? We could rotate it around the whole circle and go 360 degrees. All right? it doesn't matter which way this angle is facing, does it? It's still 90 degrees, right? Does that make sense? So you got to be able to think about that, because today some of the angles you're going to look at, they're not just facing like only one way you would expect. Okay, so let me take another 90 degree angle, and this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another right angle. This time I'm going to draw an angle about halfway through it. Okay, does that angle look like it's about halfway through it? Okay, if I ask you, what is the degrees of this angle here, my new angle that I made, not the top part of it, just the bottom one, what do you think the degrees of that is about? Show me with your fingers. Okay, and actually I'll give you a hint. You could show me one number on one hand and one number on the other hand. There's many ways you could show me, but it's about half of 90, so it's about a 45 degree angle. Okay, it's about 45 degrees. Alright, so if this angle here is about 45 degrees, how much do you think this angle is? Here, show me with your fingers. Okay, remember, this is about half, so this one's going to be about 45 degrees too. Now look at this. Alright, watch, if I cover this angle up, look, that angle looks kind of tippy, doesn't it? Okay, it doesn't even look like it's sitting anywhere at all, but it's actually half of that 90 degree angle. This one looks like it's sitting more straight, okay? But it doesn't matter if the angle's tipped or if it's straight, because it's still part of that 90 degree angle. Okay, and do you remember what we said that part of that 90 degree angle was? Do you remember what we called those angles that were less than 90 degrees? Okay, show me what the first letter is with your hands, if you remember. Okay, you're right, the first letter is A. Show me what the next letter is. Very good. These are acute angles. Okay? Acute. A-C-U-T-E. Not to be mistaken for acute angle. Alright? These are acute angles. And like I said, I think of it as because, oh, they're littler than 90. Aren't they so cute? Right? They're acute. So now, you know this. Alright? You can think about it that way. In geometry, right, which we talked about is the study of shapes and angles, you've got to kind of break things down and think about it, how you're seeing it. Okay? Now watch. If I were to draw this other line over here, and I were to ask you, what is the angle of this angle right here? This one on the inside. Show me with your hands. Not the whole thing, just this side of it, just the left side of it. How many degrees is that? Okay, good. I'm seeing 90 and a few yawns, so I guess you got the idea. That's 90. Alright, what if I were to ask you now, what if I were to draw it this way, about halfway through, and I were to ask you how many degrees is this? Okay, so we're not even looking at this, but you might use it to help you. Good, I'm seeing 45. That's about 45 degrees. And so that also makes this 45 degrees. Okay? So does this make sense to everybody? All these little 45 degree sections of angle broken up? Good. Now watch. Watch what happens. Okay? We can look at it all this way. If I were to add all these 45s together, how many degrees do you think I would get? Show me with your fingers. Yes. Yeah, I'm seeing you show me different ways. Okay? If I were to add all these 45 together, I'd get 180 degrees, wouldn't I? Okay? And my straight line, if I have a straight line like this, here, make that even a line if I want, it's going to be 180 degrees. No matter which direction. It could be this way, still 180. Look, it could even be this way, guys. That straight line is still 180 degrees. Okay? Now watch. Alright? Now, what if I said I want to know what this angle is? And I drew that across there. I want to know from here to here. Okay? Would anybody be able to figure out what that angle is? Show me with your fingers if you think you might have an idea. Okay, I've just taken off this piece here. Alright? Okay? Does anybody have an idea? I'm seeing some ideas come up. That's great. Okay, watch. I'll show you 2 easy ways to do it. Okay? You know that this is 45 and this is 45 and this is 45. You can do 45 plus 45 plus 45. Or 45 times 3. Okay, that's 15 plus 1, that's 135. That's about 135 degrees. Okay, you could also do, you know the straight line is 180. You should also do 180 minus this 45 here. Okay, that equals 135 degrees. It's the same. Alright, so if I were to draw a 135 degree angle, is that less than 90 or greater than 90? If you think it's less than 90, give me a thumbs up. If you think it's greater than 90, give me a thumbs down. Okay, good. 135 is definitely greater than 90. Definitely bigger. Okay, so is it an acute angle? Yes or no? No, it's not. Very good. Is it a right angle? No, it's not, because it's bigger than 90. A right angle has to be exactly 90. So what is this angle called? That's bigger. That's bigger than 90. What is that angle called? You remember? See, it's about like that. Okay, we'll say that's 135. I just redrew it here to make it easier to see. All right, show me with the first, in sign language, what the first letter is. Okay, of an angle that's bigger than 90. It's an O. Very good. This is an obtuse angle. Okay, I think it sounds kind of obnoxious, right? Like obnoxious. It's just obnoxiously bigger than 90. Okay, it's obtuse. All right, it's bigger than 90. Okay, and it doesn't matter, again, whichever direction this angle's facing. It might be like this, guys. This angle might look like this. Okay, it could face this way. I could turn it a little bit so that it was like this. Okay, and then I drew it here. Doesn't matter. And so today, when you look at your work, you're going to see angles facing all sorts of different directions. Okay, they may have been turned a quarter, they may have been turned 180. All right, they may have been turned 270. So you're going to have to try to think about, if you're not sure how to do it, what I tell students to do is actually take your book and turn it so one of these lines is flat. So that one of these lines looks flat to you, the way you're looking at it. And then you can see more easily what that angle actually is. Does that make sense to you? Give me a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if you're seeing the technique that I'm showing you to be able to tell what the angle is. Okay, and that's something we can practice. So you're going to have to work on this a little bit in class today and also for your homework tonight. Are there any questions?